There are up to 10 total bonus points in LEED. These go beyond the base 100 points that we've covered to this point within our course. Innovation is the first of these bonus categories. The LEED rating system offers innovation and design credits to encourage projects to go above and beyond the credit requirements and explore innovative green building strategies. LEED recognizes two strategies for earning innovation credits: exceptional performance and true innovation. Strategies and practices rewarded today as innovative may become credits down the road. Or, as LEED continues to evolve and today's innovation becomes tomorrow's standard operating procedures, strategies that may have earned an innovation credit today may not earn them going forward. Strategies and practices rewarded as innovative today may become credits in the future. Or, as LEED continues to evolve and today's innovation becomes tomorrow's standard practice, strategies that may have earned an innovation credit might not necessarily earn recognition in current or future projects. One example here is the ENERGY STAR appliances. Now, going back several years, it wasn't really that common, certainly less common than it is today, to specify ENERGY STAR when selecting appliances for a project. Now, today it's very typical for that to be the case, so that strategy in and of itself no longer qualifies for innovation. Our first credit in the category is IN Credit Innovation, where the intent is to encourage projects to achieve exceptional or innovative performance. Now there's three options within this credit, and interestingly you'll need to select more than one option if you want to achieve all 5 bonus points in this category. So option 1 allows up to 3 points. Now these are what are considered innovations. Now essentially what this allows project teams to do is to write their own credit. Now these credits are of course evaluated on their merits. You can't just do whatever you want. If the strategy is comprehensive, if it can be quantified, and if it's significant, it may qualify as an innovation credit. Now, to document these innovation credits, you'll need to list several characteristics of your proposed credit. First of all, write an intent. So, what is this credit trying to achieve? Second, define the requirements of this proposed credit. List the submittals that will be required to show that the project is actually executed according to the self-created credit requirements, and then describe the approach. How was it actually done? Now option 2, again worth up to 3 points, refers the project team to the USGBC's LEED Pilot Credit Library. Now the Pilot Credit Library is a rating system development tool designed to test new and revised LEED credit language, alternative compliance paths, and new or innovative green building technologies and concepts. And finally, option 3. This is for exemplary performance, and this allows project teams up to 2 points. So you can only get 1 or 2 of these exemplary performance credits. Now, exemplary performance is listed in the reference guide for all credits, so while the general rule of thumb that's listed here, which is generally a doubling of credit requirements, so if it said buy 20% of this, if you bought 40%, you would, generally speaking, be doubling the credit requirements and likely eligible for an innovation credit. Now, the other way to think about this is the next incremental threshold. So think about optimized energy performance. For LEED for new construction projects, you'll get all the points at 50% energy savings beyond the ASHRAE baseline. Now that's a terrific amount of energy savings, but if you go even one step further and do 54% energy savings, you'll qualify here for exemplary performance. Innovation is about finding better ways of doing things. LEED embraces innovation to encourage additional environmental benefit beyond those already achieved through other rating system categories. Innovative strategies increase the breadth of green building practice by integrating cutting-edge techniques, processes, and products into the development of a project. Exemplary performance strategies surpass the requirements of existing LEED credits and substantially exceed the performance-based standards for energy, water, or waste management. Innovative strategies expand the breadth of green building practice and introduce new ideas, such as these past innovative strategies. Now, before we list a few innovation strategies here, I want to clarify that just because they were accepted in the past does not guarantee that they will be accepted in the future. These are typically strategies that were used in previous iterations of LEED, and they're shown here just to give you an idea of what some of those could be. Development of an educational outreach program. Using greenhouse gas budget to demonstrate carbon neutral design and operations. And our final example here is incorporating high levels of fly ash in concrete to divert waste material from landfills. And our question: when submitting for an Innovation in Design credit, the design team must what? And our answer is number 4. Document quantifiable environment and/or health benefits. Now the next credit in this category, or really the last credit in this category as well, IN credit LEED Accredited Professional. The intent here is to encourage the team integration required by a LEED project and to streamline the application and certification process. Now the requirement's pretty straightforward. One principal member of the project team must be a LEED AP with specialty appropriate for that project. So if you were a lead for existing buildings project, you would look for a LEED credentialed professional with a LEED AP O&M designation. If you were a neighborhood development project, you'd need a LEED AP with the ND designation, and so on. And now our strategies and terms. So first of all, make sure that you've got a principal project team member that has that appropriate LEED professional credential. Ideally, many members, or even all principal members of a project team, would have their LEED professional credentials. However, no additional points are available. Just one point is on the table for this individual credit. And now our question. A design team for a LEED BD&C new construction project has a mechanical engineer and an architect that are LEED accredited professionals with a BD plus C specialty, and the structural engineer is a LEED AP with an O&M specialty. This helps contribute to what? And our answer is number 1, 1 IN point. And now our IP credit, Integrative Process Credit, Integrative Process. The intent here is to support high-performance, cost-effective project outcomes through an early analysis of the interrelationships among systems. Now, the requirements there's several pieces to it. So, first of all, identify and use opportunities to build the synergies across the project team. Now, the way LEED says to go about doing this are early design assessments of water and energy use. So, looking at a simple box model, or sometimes called a shoebox model, during schematic design. Now, this helps the project team identify big picture strategies such as building orientation or mechanical system type that once they're kind of mid-construction documents much further down the road when they'd be looking at doing a final energy model would be unlikely to be something they could change at that point during the design process. They also look at a water budget analysis during the same SD phase of the project, and then most importantly, using that early modeling to inform the OPR, the BOD, and the eventual project design. And perhaps most importantly, they'll use that early energy and water modeling to inform the owner's project requirements, the basis of design, and eventually the design itself. Now, LEED has some specific criteria that early energy modeling and early water budget analysis needs to address. So from the energy modeling side of things, it needs to address at least 2 of these several characteristics that a project would be considering at that point in design. Now, ideally it will look at most or all of these elements, but for LEED purposes, 2 are required. Now, the water budget analysis must look at each of these 4. So the indoor water demand, outdoor water demand, also the process water demand, and then where's that water even going to come from? USGBC offers a detailed definition of the integrative process. It's an iterative, collaborative approach that involves a project stakeholders in the process from visioning through completion of construction and throughout operation. Now, this describes 3 very distinct phases of a project. First, we have the vision, or the discovery phase. This is before pen is even put to paper, since that process starts the project down a path that's later harder to deviate from. Also, we have the design and construction. Now, in framing it like this, we're talking about both of those as a single element. This starts with schematic design and continues through completion of construction and commissioning. And then finally, we have the operations side. This is when data is collected and operational practices and procedures are iterated on to make sure that the building operation remains as efficient and effective as possible. What this encourages is continuous value optimization versus value engineering, which so many projects suffer through and can cause sustainability goals to be among the first that are cut in the name of keeping that budget low. And then finally, our question. All of the following should be considered during the discovery phase, except what? Select 2. And the answers are number 3 and 5, local recyclers and commissioning.